Ladies and gentlemen, Gungans, and all you beautiful droids across our beloved empire, thank you guys so much for stopping by, where today, the director of the video gaming division here at the Galactic Empire will be doing his initial first reaction review to the latest character in Galaxy Heroes, Katan. Is she going to unite the clans of Mandalore finally in this game? Yeah, but not really doing anything all that special. A pretty meh average character at best, but really the headline we got to talk about during our stream yesterday, guard in the top right hand corner. If you want to watch the full entire thing, thank you so much for coming by. But I think we all can agree the biggest news we heard yesterday during the testing is in the recent data mines, 6 new characters are coming to Galaxy Heroes. And I don't know about you, but I'm smelling a Galactic legend around the corner. So although this character might not be amazing, I think there's a bigger future involved with this character and with this game in general. But before we talk about all that, we got to talk about our sponsor, Gary. Ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across the galaxy, we got a birthday in the house! And it's our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends! 2 years ago, Raid started off with some cool character art and an idea where it is now the #1 RPG in the US with over 1 million players daily, over 2 billion battles completed, and a massive community of players. And Raid wants to personally thank you for all of the support they've had over the years. This month, with Raid's 2-year anniversary, they've got 6 straight weeks of anniversary events and tournaments, and they're even launching a brand new game mode, Clan vs. Clan Tournament. And if that's not enough, they're releasing the first champion inside of the brand new Shadowkin faction. If you want to get a huge head start in Raid, hit the link in the video description or scan my QR code. And if you're a new player, you'll be getting 100,000 silver, 50 gems, 3 ancient shards, and a free epic champion Jotun. All this treasure will be waiting for you right up here, but you gotta be quick because these rewards are only available for the next 30 days. So let's start rolling on some footage before we start talking about our conversation here. And something really important to point out in this footage today, the first few battles you're going to see are from Arena. The second batch, you'll see an asterisk at the top of the gameplay, will be Conquest. Take Conquest gameplay with a grain of salt because it is not really indicative of what's going to happen in the real world, because the mods and the speeds of the opposing team are sometimes so incredibly low or too dang incredibly high. Not a good sandbox mode, but still a general idea of how to see the gameplay mechanics at work here. So that's gonna be the gameplay behind us. We will talk about Bo-Katan's kit in a moment, and what I feel, long story short, the coolest thing is that we almost can beat a Sith Triumvirate, Sith Eternal lineup. Close, but no cigar, really. But the thing we got to talk about here, I think we all want to hear right now, is what is the future of this character and this game. And here we go, the recent data mine from SWGoH events. A link down below to their Discord server. As I would say, one of the most important resources out there in Galaxy Heroes, top 5 in my opinion. And one of their biggest things, they help us kind of get an indication what's going to be happening in the next 1 to 2 months in Galaxy Heroes. And they found yesterday during our stream that we are going to be getting 6 upcoming marquee characters. I double checked with Sig. I messaged him last night and he said yes, it's looking like there's 6 characters coming to Galaxy Heroes, and anytime there's a massive dump of marquee characters in a short amount of time, it starts to smell like a Galactic Legends is around the corner. Now, we could be going back to 2018, where it was called the Galaxy of Marquees, where there was like 4 to 6 marquees almost happening every other month. We haven't had that since then. Usually when we see a big batch of marquees, it's leading up to a Galactic Legend of some sort, and it's been quite a while since our last batch of Galactic Legends, so very well could be we could be expecting a couple of more Mandalorian characters around the corner. What those characters are exactly is up for speculation. I know there's some speculation of Clone Wars stuff. We'll talk about that this week. And let's stay on focus here. Bo-Katan, not really impressed with this character. She's just kind of an okay character. C grade. If I had to give her a grade right now, she's a C+ character at best. She's not really transforming much in the game right now. I hope I'm wrong. Again, this is initial reaction and gameplay, and we have to understand not every character out there can be amazing. There is a range when it comes to marquees. At the very high point, you got things like the Dark Trooper. Holy cow, one of the best marquee characters in a long time. Then you got Gideon, who's a great plug-and-play character for a variety of lineups. And then after that, you got things, for example, like Mando and Grief Karga. Great addition to the Scoundrel and Bounty Hunters out there. Then you got things like Ijilvin and Queel. And then a little bit below that, you got things like the Armor. And then I think below that, you got Bo-Katan. And I think we have to understand, every time I get a new character, we can't be going in with the expectation that they're always going to be competitive with the meta squads there. Darth Revan, Jedi Revan, General Anakin Skywalker, Galactic Legends. That's just not a reasonable expectation. So if you want to know right now, is this character worth the whale or the grind at this moment? I think you can pass. Not worth the $300+ for this character right now in terms of the viability she's bringing to the game. And is she uniting the Mandalorians? A little bit, but really at best, Mandalorians, in my opinion, feel like a Geonosian, a little bit less than Geonosian viability, or perhaps a better way to put it, they feel like bounty hunters before they got Grief Karga and the Mandalorian. That's, again, an all right place. They can beat some stuff out there like Geonosians, certain bounty hunter teams, Night Sisters. That's kind of where they're playing. I don't see them being competitive up against General Anakin Skywalker and the crew. We do have some gameplay against General Anakin Skywalker from Conquest. We'll talk about why that is not a realistic expectation here, but although she is not an amazing character right now, and I think you could pass up on her, if you are someone, after seeing this data mine as a betting person, you see 6 marquee characters coming in the next month or two to Galaxy, and you also are kind of in agreement, there's a Galactic Legend around the corner. She is definitely one of those type of characters that can definitely be required down the road. So that's why I want to put that out there, because you got to look at a couple different angles when you're doing a character review. Character performance, Dark Trooper Gideon, even if they weren't needed for a Galactic Legend or a Legendary, they are amazing characters to have. Bo-Katan, if there was never a Legendary to have in the game and this faction never really developed, I'd say she's kind of a pass. So how about we take a little bit closer of a dive into her kit. I think the biggest thing we were hoping for is I was not going in with the expectation of beating meta teams. I was hoping that the Mandalorians would be a much better team. And they are, to a degree. They are much better than they were when the armor came in. When the armor came in, that was our first taste of playing around with the Mandalorian faction. That was kind of the first ideation of it all. It was hot trash back then. Hot trash. Stay away from it. It was a pain in the butt trying to use them for galactic challenges back then. Bo-Katan is definitely taking them to the next level, but it's not a high level that we're going at if you follow my drift here. So the best thing I like about her kit is the crippling strike is nice. It's kind of Nest reminiscent. Enfys Nest applies to Daze. It's just a nice and a buff this belt. That's really the best thing about her that we kind of found with her. Also, stronger together, her unique ability. If you do want to take advantage of Mandalorians, I feel like this is a must Zeta to apply on her. Stronger together, it kind of makes sure you have some sort of durability involved in, because especially if you're not running armor elite, which we did some. I'm not a fan of armor elite still. If you are going to be running Mandalorians, she's at least the best Mandalorian leader that we have as of now, and her one Zeta she has on Stronger Together allows you to keep recovering protection when a Mandalorian ally is attacking out of turn. It's nice because also before the Zeta, she's able to recover health. So she recovers health and protection if you apply that Zeta at the very end. So the Zeta, if you are going to run Mandalorians, go for it. Otherwise, this faction's not really panning out to be much right now. And again, I'm hoping I'm wrong. Initial review, there's always more to learn, but usually on the first day, we get a good idea. And I've talked to a lot of people representing a lot of the top guilds out there who will do extensive testing. They are also not all that crazy impressed about this character and about the Mandalorian faction, but I think we are missing a few core things, and let's talk about that. Although I do firmly believe her leader ability, Unite the Clans, is going to be the way to go when it comes to running a Mandalorian crew. There's a few problems that we have. There really isn't a blazing fast character to get you going, unless you bring in the help of Moff Gideon. That might be a little bit different of a story in that regard. What I do like is that you can open with, for example, the armor. The armor's assist makes a lot more sense now. I think if this faction does branch out more, the Mandalorians that is, the armor's really going to shine. The best thing about this is if you can get your opening combo going, the mass swarm attack from the armor, which her AI naturally does on defense as well, that's the first priority they go for. It is a deadly mass assist, especially when you got things like Jango Fett, Canderous Ordo, as well as Beskar Armando coming for the assist. It's usually a turn one kill of some sort. We were able to churn through a Scion under a Sith Eternal lead very quickly, going through a Geonosian Brute in a Geonosian team. So it really kind of punches down a door. But after that, you're just sitting there, you're getting smashed, you're getting ran circles around. Because the biggest thing is right now the game is getting more turn meter, and speed heavy out there. This team doesn't have any of that stuff. There really aren't any turn meter gains except Canderous Ordo's unique ability, giving him turn meter when he's when damage over time enemies are being hit. Which, by the way, Canderous Ordo's unique seems to be bug. He seems to be getting turn meter anytime and enemies being hit, not just when there's a damage over time. So besides Candace Ordo carrying this team, which I actually think Candace Ordo is the most exciting thing about the Mandalorian crew right now, especially if you get 3 stacks of Beskar armor on him from the armor, he can basically carry himself. So an interesting character with this Mandalorian faction, kind of a better highlight in my opinion than Bo-Katan right now. Otherwise, there's not really much to discuss about Bo-Katan right now. There wasn't really a lot of teams that were able to be in the arena since. So we transitioned over to Conquest. And I want to emphasize, take any footage you see out there on the YouTube with a grain of salt if they're basing an opinion or they're showing gameplay of Conquest. I'm just showing some gameplay in the background because I needed some other gameplay so you could see how this team's functioning overall. But for example, the General Anakin Skywalker battle, there is no way a Mandalorian team is going to outrun a Captain Rex by miles. But still, in the Conquest sense, which we took off all of our data disks, going in there, we were able to outrun a Relic 4 General Anakin Skywalker team. Again, Captain Rex would be able to outrun about 90% of teams out there if in a full 5-0 first team. So again, I'm not going to say that they can beat General Anakin Skywalker. They had some hard times beating the Revans out there. Darth Revan, don't even bother trying against Darth Revan right now. Jedi Revan is a struggle too. They just run circles around you, constantly spreading buffs everywhere out there in the field. Right now, I just don't really see what our home is unless you are someone that's looking for another Bounty Hunter counter, Geonosian counter, Night Sister counter, which we have dozens and dozens of those right now in the game. There's really not much to discuss when it comes to this character, except that her future looks to be a little bit brighter and has some potential. One thing I would love to see be added to this faction is a more dedicated taunting tank as well, like a heavy armor Mandalorian like we saw in season 1, the heavy gunner. That I believe that's what the subtitles called it. And because with that, yes, there's this ancestral armor capability under Unite the Clans on her lead. I found myself rarely using it. I only would want to use it if there was a character with 3 stacks of Beskar armor. For example, Candace, if Candyman had 3 stacks of Beskar armor, I would use ancestral armor so he would taunt and then he can counterattack as a result. It's very difficult to get ancestral armor to pair well with Beskar armor Mando's the damage immunity capabilities. It would have been great if there's a better way to work out. What I would have loved to see as well is ancestral armor allow you to click it and give it to someone, force a taunt on someone instead of the character sitting in its spot. Because yes, you can dispel all debuffs, but if you're already stunned and shocked and stuff like that, it doesn't help me if I'm ability blocked and stunned and I can't use the ability. So it would have been great to select that ability to cleanse off someone else on the team. I think there's more to come, but really the biggest thing is I feel like the only thing going for this team is the buff dispel, the daze, and the mass swarm from the armor. I feel like they're missing a tank and they're missing a way to keep up in battle, some sort of reactive turn meter gain of some sort, or perhaps they're missing just a way to get extra speed on them, because once they get that opening combo going, it seems like they aren't going anywhere. Really quick, let's talk about mods at the very end. If you are going to be using Bo-Katan, I think there's 2 logical ways to take advantage of her. If you are not using her under the Beskar armor lead, Beskar armor Mando lead, I actually suggest you go for speed, a speed set so she's fast, gets a couple of buff dispels and dazes out there. And I also recommend throwing a potency set in her, so that way she has a higher chance of landing dazes on the opposing team out there. If you are going to be using her with Beskar armor Mando, which she does work fine in her, she's kind of a replacement for Emphas Nest. If you don't have Emphas Nest, you don't want to use Emphas Nest, she's kind of an Emphas Nest replacement in there, but be sure that Bo-Katan is slower than Beskar armor Mando. So that way you have Queel go first, Beskar armor Mando go out there next, and then after Beskar Mando's in his stance, then you get Bo-Katan to throw it an AoE. Ijevin throws out an AoE, Cara Dune throws out an AoE, so you get the maximum amount of Whistling Birds. She does work all right with Beskar armor Mando. Again, kind of just feels like a slight Nest replacement, but in some ways you could say that Nest is a better character in general than this right now. Again, not every character has to be amazing. There is a range of viability. This character right now just isn't all that impressive. C+ grade character at best. But again, just to emphasize one more time, 6 marquee characters in the next estimated 1 to 2 months in Galaxy. It's going to get busy, and there's a good chance we're still in season 2 of Mandalorian characters, and there might be a Galactic Legend requirement or a Legendary requirement needed with Bo-Katan. That's going to wrap it up for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. Always a blast hanging out with you guys in the streams, seeing you guys in the comment section, and you watching the video. So on your way out, going into the Comic Club, hit that like, comment down below and all your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And as we always love to see around here, woo, it's great to be in the Empire today. I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you later.